Have you disagreed with someone? And after the disagreement, after the conversation, you got an idea that maybe I should have handled this differently. Or perhaps you knew something was not right in your mind, yet you did not disagree, you did not have a conversation because you didn't know what the implications will be. This happens almost every day, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, my dear children, welcome to a new episode on Sadhana World Foundation. As you know, we pick up topics from our day to day lives and connect them with the wisdom which is available in our ancient texts. The idea is to live life better on this planet. We have been talking about the students moving from the campus to the Karmabhoomi or to the workplace. The first 21 episodes of this series were focused on personal excellence. The last episode was the first in the series of working with others. So, the last time we spoke about building trust, enjoying trust of others. Today, we will talk about disagreements. How do you handle disagreements better? This happens all the time. We disagree with our colleagues, with our boss, with our customers, with third parties, external people. We disagree with members of our family, elders as well as juniors, sometimes with our peers. How do we handle this? Disagreement is not about being argumentative. It's all about expressing a point of view. Let me take you all to a beautiful incident from the epic Ramayana. Ravan has abducted Sita and has imprisoned her in Ashoka Vatika. Ravan wants to marry Sita, but Sita won't agree to this. Ravan sees that Sita is not agreeing, and finally Ram's army is coming to Lanka. Ravan picks it up as a topic of discussion in his courtroom. All the ministers and the other members of the courtroom listen to what Ravan is saying, and they praise Ravan for his bravery, for his courage, for his power, for his strength, and whatnot, and say that we will be able to easily deal with the army of monkeys that Ram is carrying. However, there was only one voice in that entire courtroom who did not agree. Probably there were many more minds who were not agreeing with what Ravan was saying, but nobody had that courage to disagree with what Ravan was saying. Ravan's younger brother Vibhishana stood up and, with all the respect to the king, said that this is not as per dharma. Abducting somebody's wife and forcing a marriage on her is not as per dharma. Let's course correct and come back to what dharma is, what the principles of life are. He picked up the issue, dealt with it. He expressed his opinion with respect to the other person, that was Ravan. Of course, Ravan didn't agree with what Vibhishan said. Ravan's ego was too big and he rejected the idea of Vibhishan and rejected the person as well. So I see two lessons here. One lesson is about expressing one's point of view in a context of disagreement. Expressing a point of view in the context of agreement is no big deal. Expressing one's point of view in the context of disagreement is a skill that we need to acquire over time. We need to learn how people are doing it well. Theoretically speaking, it's all about picking the issue, not the person. Dealing with maturity, not turning that conversation into an argument. It's about respecting the person. Remember, great relationships exist not out of agreements. Great relationships have got a lot of disagreements. However, they deal with disagreements in a spirit of mutual respect, a spirit of keeping the issue aside and the person on a different plane. The person is always dear, the person is always respected. However, the idea is being debated about. For young professionals like you and I, the two lessons are important. We should not be scared. We should not be fearful. We should not be egoistic about the ideas that we carry. We must always welcome new ideas and evaluate each idea, whether it's a good idea. Ideas are there for us to think about them. If you have no idea, if you are surrounded by yes men around you or yes women around you, you are not likely to innovate. You are not likely to do great things in life. When we hear a criticism, when we hear a different point of view, we must have the humility to evaluate the issue, not about the person. Sometimes the person who's giving an advice to you could be a great person, a person with a halo around him or her. That doesn't mean that the idea which is coming your way is the right idea. The idea could be from your teacher, from your boss, could be from your parents, could be somebody that you respect heavily. But that doesn't mean that the idea which is coming from the other person has to be quickly embraced. We must have the mental ability and cognition to really understand what the issue is and evaluate on its merit. This is easier said than done. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear children, I am sure if you close your eyes and introspect about the various events which take place in your day-to-day life, you will be able to figure out so many instances where disagreements have happened. Either you have kept yourself mum or you picked up the topic for discussion and it turned argumentative and you didn't really like it. It's a skill that we need to really practice and be at it. I look forward to our future conversation.